Hi everyone, and welcome back to another BTLO Replay. Before we jump into Eradication, be sure to follow us on Twitter or join the Discord server to keep in touch with the BTLO community. Links are in the description box below. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so today we have Eradication. This is obviously in a retired investigation, so we're going to go through it. Let's talk about the scenario while I spin up the lab real quick. So let's load that up real quick. Alright, so while that's loading, we're going to talk about the scenario. This is a easy lab with worth 25 points, over 371 solves with the main operating system, Linux. Okay, and these are the tools we're going to be using, Yara and Joes Sandbox, and then we have the MITRE attack numbers there. So really cool addition on the platform. So, scenario. A threat actor has compromised a system and hidden a number of files. You need to generate a Yara rule to identify the presence of an additional binary based on a collected sample, and then write a custom rule using simple IOCs, indicator of compromise, to identify another type of malware. Pretty cool lab. Sounds pretty sweet. Alright, so we're letting this load up in the meantime, and I'll see you guys when it is done. Alright guys, I am back. The lab is done. Pretty sweet thumbnail. Looks like we got everything here, so make sure we have our details up and ready. We have our questions. And yeah, everything looks good. So let's start with part 1. What is the full file path for the rule match in /John/? So worth 5 points. Let's check this one out. Alright, let's go to investigation. And we're going to read the readme.txt. Take a look at this. It's pretty good, actually. So let's read this. In this lab, you're required to perform a small-scale threat hunt based on a malicious file that was discovered on one of our servers. Part 1. First, you need to run yargen pi on the file to create a Yara signature rule that could be used to search for files that have a similar property. The malicious file can be found in the malware sample. You should conduct 2 scans, one for each of the user's directories, John and Trevor. Alright, that's going to be for part 1. And then part 2, as you see right here, now that you have found all instances of this malware, it's time to check for an additional piece of malware. Unfortunately, we do not have a binary to run yargen on, so we need to create the rule ourselves using indicators of compromise given to us by an intelligent sharing partner. You could use the Yara rule you created in part 1 as a template for your custom rule, or make a new simple one. Alright? Yeah, these looks good. Alright, so that is the readme. Let's get started with part 1. Alright, part 1. What is the full file path for the rule match in John? Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go to our file. So ls, we're going to cd change directory into desktop, and we're going to go to our investigation folder, ls, oops, and then we're going to go to Yara gen. If I can spell it right. Alright, cool. We are in Yara gen. Alright, sweet. So what we're going to do, we're going to run the command python 3 yargen. Let me actually add the extension -m, and then we're going to run this against our malware sample. So we're going to put in a full path for that. Alright, so we just entered the command, and as you can see, we have Yara rule generator program spinning up. So loading up some good quality data. We're going to give it some time until this is done. Alright, so let's run this command right here. Yara space yargen underscore rules dot yar against John's home directory. Alright, see what we get. Oops. So as you see, we got some good output. Alright, we got a hit. Alright, so let's see what we got here. What's the full file path for the rule match and John? As you can see, yeah, we got it right here. So let's type that in. John / bash history. Make sure I got that right. Yep, there we go. All right, let's get to question 2, which is still in part 1. What is the full file path for the rule match and Trevor? So what's interesting about Trevor, I'm in John right now. Let me show you something cool about Trevor. If I get out of John, cd into Trevor, as you can see, we have a lot of stuff to compare it to. We could compare it to his home. So let's try that out first. So pretty much using the same command as last time. Let's do Yara gen underscore rules, and we're going to do it against Trevor's home folder. If I could type. As you can see, we don't have anything, so we're gonna have to be playing around with this. So let's try desktop. Tab that out. Nothing. Oops. Documents. We have nothing. All right, made a mistake. Downloads. Let's try that. Nothing there. And let's try pictures. Nothing there. So, alright, so we pretty much tried everything. One thing I found really interesting, if you look into these documents, you see it has that stands for the current directory, and this is the go back a directory. But if you actually look at, let me actually leave this directory, go into the downloads folder, show you something really cool. ls-a, you actually see there's 3 dots. Alright, which is kind of interesting. So what we could do, we could run the command again, yargen underscore rules dot yar. We're gonna run it against Trevor's download folder, but we want to run it against the directory with the 3 dots. Downloads, and if we tab it out, as you can see, it just auto completes right there, and then bam. But as you can see, we have something right here. Weird little file there. What's the full file? So the rule match with this right here, this a.a. Alright, so what we're gonna do, looking at the answer format, so Trevor path downloads and then the file extension. So I'm just gonna copy this, make sure I got that, and let's paste that there. Looks like that didn't work. Let me, interesting. Do I have to type this out? Alright, let's type it out, no worries. All right, there we go. Very, very interesting question, but very interesting answer. So that's question 2. We're gonna move on to the last part for question 3 and see how that goes. All right, we are on question 3, which is the last part for part 1. Search the SHA-256 hash, either obtained via CLI from the sample or from the Yara Gen created rule, and submit it to joesandbox.com. What is the malware's name? Alright, so for this one, what we want to do, make sure we're in the right directory. And we're going to use them. You can use nano, you can use what you want, to look through this Yara rule. So, oops, spelled that wrong. There we go. And this is the hash right here. You can just copy that. Alright. And yeah, that's it. So now we're at the website. What you want to do, you want to place the hash there. It's gonna load for a sec. And there we go. So we got a lot of information here. Wow. Some really good information. But remember, we're focusing on the threat's name. And as you can see, we have snake keylogger. So let's try to input that into our question format. See if that works. Snake keylogger. Yep. So that works. So we just finished question 3. Really, really good. All right. And let's move on to the next one. All right. Question 4. Which is the first part of part 2. What is the full file path for the rule match in John? So if you guys remember from the README for part 2, we found all the instances of the malware. All right, the snake keylogger. Now what it wants us to do is to create a new rule using the indicator of compromise given to us, which is right here. So we could create the new rule based off the template from the first rule, or just make a new one. So this is gonna be interesting. What I'm gonna do, let's see, let's try this out. ls, I'm going to copy or clone, whatever term you want to use, the first rule. I'm going to make a second one, Yara Gen. I'm just gonna name it number 2. Rules 2 at Yara. So let's see. And yes, that's there. And what I want to do, how do I want to edit it? We can edit it via Vim. Yeah, Vim's not too bad. Let's try out Vim. Yara Gen rules 2. So there we go. That is our template. And we could just start editing it. So with Vim, you want to do I, so you could insert and start editing it. Let's see what we could do here. We could just get rid of all this. Oops. Not bad. Get rid of all this junk. And I'm not a Vim master. So it's gonna get rid of this. Alright. That's that. Malware sample. We could just do 2. I'm just gonna leave the date alone. And let me just add a 2 here. Let's see. And we're gonna have to clean all this stuff up. So I'm gonna clean all this stuff up and I'll get back right with you guys. Alright? Alright. So let's full screen this. Sweet. So we're done. We added all the indicators at the IOCs written here, which you can find in the README file. So we put that there and made sure it matched. You can also edit this using Vim, or you can just actually open up the document and just edit it, whichever way is easier for you. Make sure the brackets are correct and everything looks good. If something does not work and you try to run the command, you'll probably get an error. So keep that in mind. So now that we got that, we could run it against the full file path, for John again. So let's do that. We're gonna quit them. You could do colon WQ, right quit. Okay. And then we're going to run the command again. Yargen, make sure you do number 2 against John's path. Make sure I got that right. And let's try that out. Bam, we got some information. I don't know, this is good. I mean, we got 3 results, but we didn't get a match. So we're just gonna run it against his other profiles. Let me just double check. CD, hopefully this works. Oops. Man, I'm a slow typer. Okay. Guess I gotta do it this way. I'm just gonna double check what kind of other folders he has. And CD into John's. Oops, I'm going way too fast. LS, we did desktop, I believe. No, we did home. We did home. Let's try desktop. Nothing. I believe downloads was another one as well. Nothing in download. I know we had that thing. Let me actually double check real quick. What the heck is old? Hold on. Sorry. History. Okay. That's an interesting finding. Let's run it against download, but old. Oh, wait. Huh, okay. I think that's a hit. I'm just gonna double check real quick. That might be a hit. Yeah, I think that's a hit actually. So let me just copy the file path. Oh, what the? It still has the hash. I'll just type it out. No biggie. I can't spell. And yeah, so it was a hit. Interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting one. So yeah, that's question 4. I thought that was pretty interesting. What is the full file path for the rule match and John? So okay, we got that completed. Sweet. Let's move on to the 5th question. All right, we're down to the final question for part 2 and the whole challenge. What is the full file path for the rule match and Trevor? So using the same command, or I should say the same rules, the updated rules, we're gonna run it against Trevor, see if we could get a hit. So see how this goes. No hits here. I actually do have his file actually pulled up, so just in case I forget all the directories, let's try desktop. Nothing there. Downloads. Oops. Nothing. What else? Desktop. Oh, I missed documents. Nothing there. Okay. It has to be something in pictures then. Let's see. Oh, I think we got something. I think we got something. Oh shoot. Yeah. Yeah, we got something. Wow. Interesting. I'm curious on. Hold on. If I can spell pictures right. What is in here? Interesting. Cool. Looks like this thing right here. Let me full file path. Let me just. Well, my. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm just gonna type this out. Come back to you guys. All right, just finished typing it out. Let's see. And yeah, that is it. That's a hit. Interesting. Very interesting exam. Not exam. Challenge. That was pretty cool. I really liked the portion where you had to, make your own Yara rule. I think that was pretty dope. But no, I think that this was a really cool lab. So, again, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to never miss a video. In the meantime, remember to join us on Discord and tune in every Friday at 6 p.m. BST for BTLO Replay. Thanks, guys, and see you next time.